Good afternoon, Bob, Trade Genius here. It's the 9th of April, and very interesting day, and one that we expected for the most part. So let me go through it. So on Friday, this channel here actually moves every hour because it's looking back over the past 100. Well, this case, yeah, the past 105-minute bars. So it touched this green line. This is a fade line for me, and I went ahead and we bought calls on Friday, and we were confirmed on that because also on the hourly, it went ahead and it touched the middle line of this too and broke down and broke up, and so this gave me confidence to go ahead and fade the move on Mondays. Usually a Friday follows through on Monday, but in this case it did not, because I think I already pushed down too hard on Friday, and they're probably trying to catch people leaning short into puts on Monday with the options, and that was indeed the case. And then it popped all the way up to here, and when we sold the 264s today against our long 265 position for Friday, and we were able to capture the full value out of that, and then we rolled into 265s on Wednesday, and that's the way I'm playing it until we get both the 20-day and the 5-day to be in alignment one way or the other. And so right now I'm buying calls and selling calls against it on a shorter time frame until I get a signal that says, hey, we're downtrending on both time periods or we're uptrending on both time periods, and it'll work out pretty well for us, and I suspect it will as well. And this is the second week of the month, and typically you get weakness into Thursday, and then we also have the president of China speaking tonight. I'm sure he's going to be as hawkish as our president has been on trade, but I think there's trade tariff and basically exhaustion here. People are just losing interest in it, and I think that story is gonna play itself out unless somebody does something really stupid and just causes some short-term pain somewhere. But looking at the VIX, is not moving up. Put call ratio stayed flat to down during this, and the market was up today. So there was a stat put out there by somebody on Twitter that has a lot of these really interesting statistics, and he said when you have a move like this that it pushed up higher and then gave a lot of it back after the trend run we've had, is that basically these things happen at bottoms, and so we're looking for this thing to push out. And when I mean bottoms, I'm not talking about the bottom. I'm talking about, we're going to have a tradable move higher, and I'm still expecting that. I'm longer term bearish, but shorter term now until summer, I could see it being constructive, and I think you'll see money moving back in, because I think money is going to want to be out of the markets going into the election. So that's that. So I'm going to flip over and look at some other charts here. And this is our signal that we use if you want to day trade. It's a nice signal, and so you can get it. Just go to TradeGeniusAcademy.com and inquire on the Trade Genius Money Machine. Now going on to we bought XME today. I think it's putting a bottom in, and if we get any kind of shift out of financials and tech, I think the beneficiary is going to be commodities. We're in silver. Silver had a nice day today. Okay, we're in AG. We're in Hecla, and we are in DRD Gold. Okay, and those are my positions right now on the silver and gold side. I'm not moving stops, not changing anything on it. I'm just waiting. I think silver's the most undervalued asset of them all, and I think it's gonna rock and roll. And then I also bought today for a trade is wheat, and Oh, hope that's not a demonic sign here. But we just had a nice move here, and they're definitely worried about the wheat crops now. And you're going to see corn soon too, because they got to get corn in the ground by the middle of May. You know, it's the middle of April and there's still snow everywhere. And then once the snow melts, the ground has to be a certain temperature for the corn to germinate. And it also can't be too wet. And if that happens, then I think they roll out of corn. I think they roll into soybeans. I think if they can't get wheat in the ground, they roll into barley. So those are things to, to keep an eye on. And speaking of soybeans, and don't let anybody tell you about the Chinese and tariffs. It's going to hurt the soybean crop and the farmers. Nothing farther from the truth. There's not enough soybeans. So just stop listening to the news. They're trying to get you to sell your soybeans cheap. The Europeans bought the most soybeans they've ever bought from us last week, because the Chinese bought all the South American soybeans they can get their hands on. China can't grow enough soybeans. They'd have to convert 1/3 of their farmland just to farm soybeans to feed what they need for primarily pork production. So just FYI on that. I think they're all going to get a nice move. I've been saying since I started this signal service is that you're going to see the price of grains 4 to 5 times the price of in wheat. You'll see JJG in the 40s and 50s, and DBA is also moving as well. We were going into a grand solar minimum. You're seeing it now, and also I tweeted out today on my general tweet that Russian exports are falling. They're not going to be able to get the stuff in the ground like they did before either, and I think that extra market is going to not be available for the next year or two, and I think it's going to cause prices to start moving higher on a more consistent basis. FYI on that. The only other thing we have, and we're short, is that VXX is going to continue this rolling down process, and we'll just keep trading it, and you're going to get fatigue on the volatility side too. It's expensive to maintain these puts, so either people are going to cash out their positions and go ahead and sell their or close their volatility trade, or they're just going to close them because the market's getting strength. So anyway, this is Bob Trade Genius. If I think of anything else of interest, I know Phil will probably be covering the cryptos, and if he doesn't put one out tonight because he's still doing a little vacation action, I'll put some stuff out there as well. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.